Your staggering book, The Real Anthony Fauci, illustrated in incredible depth with extraordinary footnotes and evidence the true history of Anthony Fauci, his early engagement with military projects, his incredible portfolio and involvement with the development of dual purpose research. And when I read it some time ago, when you were still a figure banned from online spaces, inaccessible to all but the most esoteric and eager investigators of marginal spaces, I felt like, well, this can't be true, but it makes sense and it is true. For you to have moved from a place where when your books are a bestseller, the New York Times just, almost run a blank space as if you're Elvis's pelvis, to the point where you are now running for president and polling well. How do you think that those kind of ideas, because it sounds like you're saying that ultimately Anthony Fauci is a criminal, and it seemed to me like when you were saying federal employees that lie should be held accountable. What happens to Anthony Fauci? What happens to Big Pharma in the event that you're granted that kind of executive power?
If I get in there,
Yeah.
I think the best thing for our country, Russell, is to have some kind of truth and reconciliation commission, like they've had in Latin American countries, El Salvador, Argentina, and all over the world. And the way those commissions work is you appoint a high-level commission of people who are representing kind of all the major stakeholders, but who are very highly respected people. And then they take testimony. And if people from the government agencies come forward and tell the complete truth about what happened during COVID, for example, then they are immune from prosecution for those things that they testified truthfully about. And the people who refuse to talk are now subject to prosecution. And you build, the information base, and then they put out a report and tell exactly what happened. And, a lot of these commissions are just fancy ways of covering up the truth and satisfying the public demand for an investigation. But I'm going to do a real investigation. And I'm going to be rigorous about making sure the Americans know every item of truth that happened then and the rest of the world, because it's critical to make sure we never do anything like that again. And we know what works and we know what doesn't work, and we can recognize when we start heading down a bad path again. And we need that kind of rigorous process that also provides for the people who won't cooperate with it may be criminally prosecuted.
Sir, may I ask that doesn't a reckoning of that scale expose what many people would regard as the true powers that ultimately manipulate and move through various intersectional points between the deep state and other globalist bureaucracies, and benefit indeed from America's ongoing covert involvement in coups and wars? If you challenge those kind of interests, how doesn't your own family history rather garishly and awfully and indeed tragically demonstrate that in all likelihood a serious undertaking of such an endeavor would likely lead to your murder?
Well, that is irrelevant to me. It's relevant only in that it would be strategically a bad mistake to let myself get murdered. And so I'll take precautions to help assure that to make that difficult for anybody who wants to try it. But, look, we had a generation of Americans in 1776 who put their lives on the line for our country to give us this Constitution. They put their property, their reputation, their health, their families, and a lot of them died. And then again, during the Civil War, there was 659,000 people who gave their lives so that we could have our country. So I think people from every generation need to be willing to take risks to hold on to our Constitution. If we're not willing to take those risks, we're going to lose it. So you need at least a few people in every generation who say, America is worth it. America is worth it. And, we've had millions of Americans die in wars to protect our freedom. And we all have to be willing to do that. I think it was Jefferson who said that every generation must water the tree of liberty with bloodshed, and if we're going to keep our values or be willing to do that. And so I think that's something that that's just an assumption that I feel that makes any kind of threat at this point irrelevant to me.
Hey, this is exciting. We've got a great partner today. It's Rumble. But beyond Rumble, it's Rumble's latest venture. Let me ask you first, are you a Sleepy Joe type character with zero cognitive performance, struggling to muster focus and brain power for basic things like running the United States of America? You've got to stop drinking woke liberal coffee that hates you and your way of life and start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. This is going to be the best tasting coffee you've ever had. Seriously good, ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude mountains of Bolivia. Not in the Bolivian lowlands, run not by a family but by a single man still living with a pet. No! Instead of waking up and drinking your big corporation owned woke ideology coffee that's probably making you sick from the pesticides it's sprayed with, try Rumble's 1775 revolutionary coffee. Support freedom of speech. Build a parallel economy that actually values you and loves you. My favourite? It's dark, of course. I've always found the lure of the dark irresistible. I'm sorry, how can I stay mad at you? You're just going to have to wait over there for a little while. Level up your morning routine with a 1775 coffee. Sleep all night knowing your hard-earned dollary dues are going towards supporting freedom-loving creators like me on Rumble. Visit 1775coffee.com now, pick up your first bag, use the code BRAND to save 10% on your first order. Oh, come on. Why choose,
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.